Bit of a challenge to follow Dave, because I don't know whether he's going to say the same things that I'm going to say, or whether I'm going to say the same things that he's going to say. Anyway, what I'm going to do is just talk about mobile, and talk about new marketing, and talk about how I see this in the kind of like a future space, rather than give you the sort of detailed nuts and bolts of how to do it. Firstly, I actually did prepare my own kind of intro. And so I'm going to just whip through that very, very quickly. I've just founded the AAA Digital Marketing Academy, which is an educational institution which looks at teaching marketers and agencies and people like that about the whole spectrum of marketing. I'm the head of faculty at AAA school. I do other stuff. I blog at walterpike.com. I can be found there. A little bit about traditional marketing and advertising, and just where people are, just it needs a context to move forward from. In traditional marketing, in the traditional space where we got to after the Industrial Revolution, the whole focus was on production and on being able to produce what Seth Godin calls average stuff for average people. So what we try and do is we try and research, find big target market groups, and be the most effective as we can to try and put our message out into those people. So again, as Dave was saying, our job therefore is to get eyeballs. We try and get exposure. We try and get our message out in front of as many people as we can, and we do that using a technique called interruption marketing. And the way we do that is to find people doing stuff, and we put stuff in front of them. So we find people driving down a highway, and we put billboards in front of them. We find people reading a magazine, we put ads. We find people watching TV, and we put ads in front of them as well. In this case, we've got a whole bunch of people watching swimming in some place around the world, and we've got an ad running on the side. The mantra, or the thing that I used to use certainly when I was in advertising, was this whole idea of ROI, return on investment. But in this context, it looks at how you are successful in interruption marketing is by doing three things. You create advertising which is relevant. You create advertising that is original, and you create advertising that has impact. If you don't do those things, then nobody notices your advertising, and everything is wasted. Okay, that creates ROI. Okay, where we use mobile in that space is to extend reach and get more exposure, and we feed things to people in that kind of way. Now, I've found certainly in the last couple of days I've been talking to quite a lot of people about the internet and about internet marketing and marketing in general, and I found actually that people seem to be approaching it from two sort of different positions. One of them is from the interruption marketing point of view, which is where obviously most traditional marketers are, most traditional ad agencies are. And the other one is from technology. And I was out last evening at a tweeter, and I was talking to a whole bunch of people in the geek community, and of course a lot of them are technology people. So they think of this whole social media and this whole internet space as from a technology point of view. There are very few people that seem to see it from a sociological point of view and an anthropological point of view, and this whole idea of how power moves and how power is moved in the relationship, in the stuff. Cell phones therefore are personal, ubiquitous, and immediate, so we can get things out to everybody. If anybody's got their phone here, if you read that, if you shoot that, that takes you to my blog. Okay, so there's a way to, that's a way of linking and trying to bring people in this sort of interruption marketing space. The next thought that I want to talk about is the power of the internet, and again, very quickly, to think about the phases in which the internet has moved and where the internet is going to. The first level of the internet was the internet of computers and computers linking into each other, and us being able to find information by linking to other computer and drawing information from it. The second manifestation of the internet was really the internet of pages and links, and we were able to therefore link all of these pages together along the way. The third manifestation of the internet is this idea of linking data and thoughts and ideas, and bringing those and being able to access those thoughts and those ideas. And it's really important to understand the internet in that way, because the internet not only is everywhere, and Dave gave some of the statistics of how many people are connected into it, but also every screen that we've got is really just a porthole into this machine, into this big wash of information and people and connections and profiles and things that are moving around and that we can interact with. So the internet is a sharing thing. It's a social tool. It wasn't designed, it wasn't put out there initially to be a channel to push things. This quote comes from the guy who invented the internet, who wrote the first paper on HTTP, and he says, "The web is more of a social creation than a technical one. I designed it for a social effect, to help people work together, but not as a technical toy." The next thought is just looking at the new marketing, the understanding of what marketing is in this new space. And believe it or not, 10 years ago, this book was published. It was published 10 years ago last year, which I think, I mean, it's amazing. It really is amazing that so much has moved in those 10 years. But it hit the streets and faced the ridicule of the marketing community and the advertising community, because it had this whole idea that people will ask to be marketed to, and they'll ask for the things that they want, and that they will absorb the stuff that they want to get, and not the stuff that you're trying to push to them. Okay, next thought. We traditionally think of our relationship and the sales process and the communication process through this channel. And the channel is, let's see if this laser pointer actually works on the screen. The channel starts, and if you read Kotler and any of these books, the channel starts with creating awareness of a product or a brand, going through the process of consideration, selection, purchase, and then getting to a point of loyalty. But it's a linear process, it's a funnel. We move from the beginning, where we see a TV ad, and we push people down the line. And a lot of advertising, a lot of marketing works on that in that kind of space. The reality is, in the new space, everything is much more confused, and people make their purchase decisions, or the way that they interact with their brands and their products, in a much more complex manner. They'll get up there, find a need, search for the brand, visit a store, then go and read somebody's blogs. I mean, about 77% of people that are buying stuff online read people's comments on blogs. And if you search on Google, about 25%, if you search any brand on Google, about 25% of the stuff that you'll get is written by consumers. It's user-generated stuff. So that's where people are, and they're moving around, putting up things up on Flickr and reading widgets, loading pics of their purchase, bringing it back and showing their Facebook friends and moving things around. So the whole process of marketing and the whole process of interacting with these people has changed. It changed considerably.